What does the countryside look like in your impression? Brick houses, dirt roads, dirty and messy areas, traffic congestion, backward development? There is such a village in Jinhua, Zhejiang. It is located in Nanma Town, Dongyang City. In the village, various bungalows and villas can be seen everywhere, many of which are worth tens of millions. Source: Visual China. Walking further in, you can still see commercial buildings rising from the ground, and even luxury hotels, shopping malls, amusement parks, cinemas, and other modern facilities. Source: Visual China. If you say it is a city, no one will doubt it. Because of its wealth, it even surpasses some cities. Last year, the village's operating income reached 65.5 billion yuan, and the per capita annual income reached 165,000 yuan. You know, the per capita disposable income of rural residents in 2022 is 20,100 yuan. The director of the party committee of this village even said, "In our village, households with household assets of less than 5 million are in difficulty, households with household assets of 10 million are just starting, 50 million are considered rich, and households with more than 100 million are truly wealthy households." This village is called Garden Village. With a revenue of 65.5 billion a year, how rich is this village? On July 22, CCTV 13's news investigation column reported on Garden Village for nearly 40 minutes. In the program, a villager wanted to take a reporter to the second floor of his house and took the elevator. Elevators are common in cities, but not in rural areas, and even rarer in farmers' homes. Later, the villager also showed two of his cars to reporters, a Mazda and a SAIC Maxus. This is just a small slice of Garden Village. At the Garden Village International Cinema, the film schedule is full of recently released movies, such as 30,000 Miles from Chang'an and The Octagonal Cage. The movie started at 12:05. Some villagers set off at 12 o'clock and arrived at the cinema in 5 minutes. There is also a commercial center of more than 50,000 square meters in the village. KFC, Suning.com, and Luckin Coffee, all of which are commonly found in big cities and shopping malls, are also present in the Garden Village. When a reporter asked Xiao Qingxiang, secretary of the party committee of Huayuan Village, whether he needed these modern facilities, he replied, "Without these public services, people from all over the country would not be able to stay in Garden Village. If you want to bring in a phoenix, you must prepare a phoenix nest for him." The construction and development of Huayuan Village, the phoenix nest, is inseparable from Shaoqingxiang. Well-known poverty-stricken village, flying out of the Golden Phoenix. As early as 40 years ago, Huayuan Village was not the phoenix nest it is today, but a small and poor village. It was located among the hills in the mountains of central Zhejiang, lacking water, land, and resources. At that time, there were only 183 farmers in the village with a total of 496 people. It can be said that the poverty of Huayuan Village at that time was so well known that it was even incorporated into folk songs. The villagers have no flowers growing in their gardens, and they live in poor families with thatched mud houses. It is difficult to make ends meet by farming and paying rent, so they have to carry salt and catch fish to make ends meet. How poor is this village? Due to lack of daily water, villagers need to fetch water from neighboring villages. A town official rode a bicycle into the village and broke his leg on the first day. A tractor was bought in the village and a group of people carried it in on their shoulders. Because the road is not easy to travel, the film team showing mobile movies is not willing to come. In 1976, Xiao Qingxiang was elected as the captain of the Huayuan Village production team when he was 22 years old. 2 years later, Xiao Qingxiang got married. At that time, the per capita annual income in Huayuan Village was only 87 yuan. In order to have a dignified wedding, Xiao Qingxiang finally borrowed electricity from the next village that night, but was cut off by a young man from the next village in a prank, and the wedding fell into darkness and chaos. This made Xiao Qingxiang feel angry and ashamed, and also ignited his fighting spirit. People are bullied when they are poor, and only when the village is poor is they offended. At that time, I was thinking that one day, I must make Huayuan Village rich. The village lacks natural resources and has no money. How can it become rich? It doesn't matter, find someone. In 1981, Xiao Qingxiang first borrowed 500 yuan from his second brother and the old village secretary, and the three of them raised funds to set up a candle factory. At that time, there were frequent power outages in the village, and candles were a necessity for every household, so there was no need to worry about sales, and Xiao Qingxiang soon made his first pot of gold. In order to expand the scale of his business, he opened a clothing factory that year and ran it successfully. In the fourth year of operation in the garment factory, the profit exceeded 500,000 yuan. This was an astronomical figure for rural areas at that time. If you are poor, you will want to change. In addition to Xiao Qingxiang, other villagers in Huayuan village are also working hard to find a way out, hoping to change the fate of poverty through running businesses and setting up factories. In the 1980s, there were only more than 140 households in Huayuan village, but more than 50 household joint ventures suddenly appeared. Later, Xiao Qingxiang combined 8 village-run enterprises in Huayuan village and 46 individual and private enterprises in the village to form Huayuan Group. At this time, the Garden Group was still developing labor-intensive industries by relying on cheap land and sufficient labor. With the development of the times and social changes, many challenges and bottlenecks have also emerged. For example, in the 1990s, overcapacity, lack of core technologies and independent products in traditional manufacturing industries all became problems faced by Huayuan Group and Huayuan Village, and transformation was imminent. 1996 was a turning point in the development of Huayuan Group. A project called Vitamin D3 came into Xiao Qingxiang's vision. At that time, it could be said to be a blank in the Chinese market. No forerunners means no competitors. In 2000, Xiao Qingxiang spent 20 million yuan to buy out the vitamin D3 production technology in one go. 3 years later, Huayuan Group's vitamin D3 products entered the international market in a big way and became the world's largest vitamin D3 manufacturer. Today, Garden Group has become a national-level enterprise group dominated by high-tech industries and supporting emerging industries and traditional industries. It has more than 50 wholly owned and holding companies, ranking 331st among the top 500 Chinese private enterprises in 2022. In 2022, Garden Group will achieve operating income of 38.2 billion yuan. Who would have thought that its predecessor was a small factory making candles and clothing? Xiao Qingxiang, who took the lead in establishing these two factories, and his family ranked 401st on the 2020 Huron report with a net worth of 13.5 billion yuan. The young man who was determined to make a fortune with Garden Village has been fulfilling his promise for decades. From a rich family to a rich village, Huayuan Village has undergone earth-shaking changes. From one person doing business to starting a whole village business. From a rich family to a rich village. In Xiao Qingxiang's view, the key to changing a village into a city lies in infrastructure and public services. In a CCTV report, Xiao Qingxiang reviewed his investment and construction path in Garden Village. A mechanical plowing road was built in the village in 1983. In 1984, we invested in installing tap water and installed it in every household. The Garden Theater was built in 1986, with an investment of more than 200,000 yuan. In 1989, 5 office buildings were built in the village. The road in the village was widened from 4 meters to 33 meters with investment. Under Xiao Qingxiang's leadership, the per capita income of Huayuan Village exceeded 36,000 yuan in 2004. For such a large-scale investment, Xiao Qingxiang calls it promoting the village through industry. When natural resources are insufficient, it is necessary to rely on industry and service industries to drive the development of the village. It can also stimulate the villagers' entrepreneurial enthusiasm and fundamentally solve the problem. The issue of farmers' economic sources. He believes that when the village is prosperous and popular, it will in turn promote the further growth and development of enterprises and the village-level economy. The core landmark of Garden Village, Garden Redwood Furniture City, is the result of Xiao Qingxiang putting theory into practice. Today, it has become one of the largest professional mahogany furniture markets in China. Around 2006, the mahogany furniture business emerged in Dongyang, where Huayuan Village is located, but Huayuan Village is not a mahogany origin and does not have the advantage of a geographical location. So at that time, everyone could only rent a few houses on the roadside and do relatively small and scattered businesses. The change occurred in 2010, when Garden Group invested and built a 50,000 square meter mahogany furniture city. Industrial agglomeration began to play a role, there were more product types, dealers were willing to come, and each household's business improved. After more than 10 years of development, today's Garden Redwood Furniture City has expanded to 500,000 square meters, and a full industrial chain surrounding redwood has been established, including wood, carving, paint, machinery and equipment, etc. Today, there are more than 2,300 mahogany enterprises in Huayuan village, and a wave of village entrepreneurship is rising in the village. Even in the village houses on the street corners, you can often see advertisements for mahogany bracelets. Xiao Qingxiang said that mahogany furniture has driven hundreds of thousands of people in surrounding towns to become rich. Life depends on the collective, and getting rich depends on oneself. I will set up the stage in the garden village, and the people will sing on the stage. Anyone with economic savvy can open a store or factory. The garden villagers lived up to Xiao Qingxiang's expectations. The poor village that had to fetch water and borrow electricity from neighboring villages has become a well-known wealthy village in Zhejiang and even the country. The magical Zhejiang is not just a garden village. Zhejiang has more than one garden village. If Xiao Qingxiang is the epitome of the wealthy group in Huayuan village, then Huayuan village is the epitome of the entire Zhejiang countryside. Rich villages like Huayuan village are everywhere in Zhejiang. A joke once circulated on the internet: if you don't have a villa in Zhejiang, you are embarrassed to call yourself a rural person. The topic "how luxurious can Zhejiang's rural areas be" even made it onto the hot search list. How luxurious are the rural areas of Zhejiang? With this kind of luxury, you can think of it as a simple display of wealth. Some netizens received photos from a rural friend in Anji, Zhejiang, and couldn't help but praise, "This little B&B is really nice." As a result, his friend told him that it was a sewage treatment station in their rural area. The generosity of rural areas in Zhejiang is evident. So why are Zhejiang's rural areas so luxurious? Very simple: have money. Until 2020, Zhejiang's per capita disposable income of rural residents ranked first among provinces and regions in the country for 36 consecutive years. In the just announced list of top 100 counties in 2023, Zhejiang accounts for 16, second only to Jiangsu in the number of places on the list. Among them, Dongyang, where Garden Village is located, appeared on the list unsurprisingly. Whether in urban or rural areas, Zhejiang is famous throughout the country for making money. Build bridges when encountering water and open roads when encountering mountains. You can always trust Zhejiang. In December last year, as the epidemic prevention and control measures were optimized and adjusted, Zhejiang responded to the order and decisively attacked to fight for the economy. At that time, Zhejiang's operation of thousands of groups and tens of thousands of companies to expand markets and grab orders hit the internet. Led by the Zhejiang Provincial Department of Commerce, more than 10,000 companies were organized to go abroad to participate in economic and trade activities. Zhejiang people are also far ahead in the country in making money. The secretive ones include Xiao Qingxiang, the leader of Garden Village, and the well-known ones include Ding Lei, Zhong Qinghao, Jack Ma, Zhong Sushui, etc., who have contracted the position of the richest man in the past 10 years. Whether it is in Zhejiang cities or rural areas, in the manufacturing field or the internet industry, wealth flows equally among them. Diligence, wisdom, courage, unity, and hard work are not only the background of Xiao Qingxiang and the villagers of Huayuan village, nor are they only the background of richest men such as Jack Ma and Zhong Sushui, but also the background of the entire Zhejiang business community. From ancient times to the present, a large number of Zhejiang merchants are active across the country and even around the world. In order to live a good life, the spirit of struggle, hard work, and unity that emerged from this group has not faded after the baptism of time. No matter how many difficulties we encounter in the process, we must survive and live well. Zhejiang is worth it.